Hey everyone, so as of right now, it's the day before the fight between Alex Perez and Tatsuro Taira, flyweight main event for this fight night. The card is, it was okay because it had some interesting fights on there, but with some recent stuff with UFC 303 that I might make a video talking about, and a weight miss from Tagir Olimbekov that's canceled the Joshua Van fight. I believe it was like a 3-pound weight miss, which I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you do that and then stay in that weight class. Like, he might have to move up because that's awful. But losing that, Ikram Aliskerov is off the card because he will be facing Robert Whittaker in, I believe, next week for the UFC Saudi card, because Hamza Chimaev is off it. It's a lot of stuff. Like, that's all good for that, but it now kind of leaves this card with a lot of either mid or just kind of not that good fights on here. Like, the main event is Miles Johns versus Douglas Silva de Andrade. That should tell you it, but main event is interesting. It's good. I'm excited for it just because I'm very interested in, while I'm very much interested in Tatsuro Taira, I'm also interested in Alex Perez, considering the most recent fight. So put it like this. Tatsuro Taira, undefeated Japanese flyweight fighter of it. He's currently in the rankings of it. He's been going through the rankings. Not going through the rankings, but going through the division very good. They definitely took their time with him, but they're giving him a pretty big step up in Alex Perez, who just recently managed to snap a 3-fight losing streak by KOing and upsetting Mateus Nicolau. And I think the perception of Alex Perez has changed since then because he very quickly is now stepping in for this main event thing of it. Like, it wasn't announced that long after he had won his fight against Mateus Nicolau. And this guy was known for not fighting or pulling out of fights. Like, big pullout merchant, all of that stuff. It was surprising to see him in a fight against, because I know he was supposed to fight, I believe it was Askar Askarov when he was still in the division. He was supposed to fight, I believe it was Manel Kopp. I forgot. There's just so many people he was supposed to fight, and I know Manel Kopp's also doing that now. So he might have infected him there, or he may have taken it from Manel Kopp. I don't know. But he's trying to redeem himself. We can see that. He's got win. He's got momentum. He was coming off a loss against Muhammad Makayev, a not very fun fight. It was really boring, to put it frankly. But he now has a chance to upset the odds of it, stop a prospect, undefeated prospect, take his O, which would be a very big moment for him, would make 2024 a pretty good year for him. But on the other hand, you got Tatsuro Taira, this very young guy. He's not even, I don't even know if he's he might be 26 or 27, but he's not even in his full prime yet. And he's already doing stuff. He's already is shown to be a step ahead of a lot of these guys here. Great submissions. Great, just takedowns, grappling, and that. Striking is not to be desired, but he did, I believe his most recent fight did get a TKO, his first in the UFC. Did show some improvements in there, but he's had some moments in some fights where his striking has just not lived up at all to what you would think it should be at this level. But he's improving it. And to give my prediction right now, I'm going with Tatsuro Taira. It's just hard, and I know people are picking Alex Perez, and it's a lot to do with either that he's higher up in the rankings and he has fought top guys. His 3-fight losing streak was against Davison Figueiredo, former 2-time champion, currently top 10 ranked bantamweight right now. No shame in that. It's Alexander Pantoja, first round, I believe, guillotine submission loss at UFC 277, I believe. He's now the champion as well, defending champion as well, so no shame in that. And then now Muhammad Makayev, who really struggled just to get takedowns on him, just could not get takedowns, which lends yourself to believe that he just has very good, takedown defense, which he does. He has a pretty good takedown defense. The difference is between Muhammad Makayev and Tatsuro Taira, while yes, they're both grapplers of that stuff, Muhammad Makayev is one of these, and I don't say it for all of them because I don't think it's true for a lot of them, but he is definitely one of these guys who will shoot in a takedown, doesn't get it, he's going to the ground. He'll put his knees on the ground so that way you cannot kick him or knee him there just just to abuse the rules until he can get a takedown or he can basically hold you there for the rest of the round. So it's not it's not really good technique wrestling wise. It doesn't lend yourself towards having good takedowns to where someone with average to decent to good takedown defense can stuff it. But Tatsuro Taira is not that. This dude is a martial artist. This dude has good takedown entries, good grappling, and good submissions. Like, this guy will get you down there, and he will, like, ground and pound you. He will go for submissions. He will try and make something happen. And I feel like that's what's going to be what the deciding factor is in this fight. I just think Tatsuro Taira, his ground game is a lot better. Maybe not submissions, because Mamakayev seems to be able to pull out a submission out of his ass in the third round every single time. So maybe not in submissions, maybe not in just holding someone in the position, maybe not. Like, yeah, we could go and we could be like, oh, he's better at this part, The point is, I think Tatsuro Taira is better at getting takedowns, and I think he's better at just the, like, jiu-jitsu grappling aspect of that, less than the wrestling. I think he's more likely to make something happen on the ground and not in a, like, come from behind, gets a submission, like, surviving that one. I forgot what the dude was that, like, almost, like, absolutely took home, like, Mamakayev's, like, knee with him, like, from that knee bar, but then he comes back, gets a submission, does it to what's his name? Malcolm Gordon. Not that one didn't age well. And then against Tim Elliott. And I know people are saying, Alex Perez can crack. Like, he can crack you. He'll knock you out. He's got KO power. He did it to Mateus Nicolau. And I know Mateus Nicolau isn't, like, the most chinny guy. Like, he isn't. But he isn't, like, he's a flyweight who's known to be kind of chinny, which at flyweight, you don't really want to be known for that. That's all I'm going to say. So I think it was a perfect storm. And yeah, I picked against Alex Perez. It was really hard not to pick him to win that when he's on a 3-fight losing streak. But all I'm going to say is I really just think the takedowns, entries in it, the grappling, just the threat of the submission, the ground and pound, Alex Perez cannot, like, just, like, when he gets taken to the ground by Muhammad Makayev, it's not, oh shit, I need to get back up. It's, okay, I can work myself back up. I got time. He's not going to do shit to me. When it's Tatsuro Taira, it's, I got to get out of this. It's because it's not a thing like, oh, the moment you're on the ground, it's instantly you're submitted. It's not like Charles Oliveira grappling. I don't want it to come off like that. It's more threatening than Muhammad Makayev's grappling. Like, it's more of a, I don't want to be here because he's so much better at grappling than he is at striking, that just staying on the ground with him is just, you're just going to be losing the round. So I think he's improved in his last fight. I think he improved his striking, giving him a more well-rounded game. Like, definitely I'm not going to pick him in a striking match against Alex Perez, but I also think he can handle himself a bit better than he did at the start of his UFC career. So I think he's improved. He's taken a bit of time off because I think he last fought in, like, December. So he's coming back now in June. He's taken time off, which is, for a young guy like him, that is only good because he will be improving, and it hasn't even been that long off. It's been, like, maybe half a year. That's not too long, especially for a prospect who put in a lot of work in 2023. I see him submitting Alex Perez in the third round. I'm going to say a rear naked choke. He seems to go for those a lot. I think Alex Perez, he's been submitted before. He does have, the danger factor is he's not on a losing streak now, so he might have more confidence now. But I still don't think it's enough. I think the UFC really want a Japanese champion. They want a top 10 Japanese guy in the flyweight division. They just signed Kai Asakura from Ryzen, the Ryzen champion. So they're definitely trying to get some Japanese talent in the UFC, which is good of it. And they do have two really good guys. But I think they're giving him one of the easier fighters in the flyweight, like top 10, that isn't coming off a loss. That's all I'm gonna say. But I think Tatsuro Taira is gonna get the third round submission win, and just from there, I don't know who he fights next. maybe Kai Kara France. That's who I would probably say. Kai Kara France is probably who's going to fight, because who else? Maybe Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg's coming off a loss to Pantoja. That was very arguable. You could definitely argue. You could argue Steve Erceg winning. I could also see arguing Pantoja because of the 5th round and how Steve Erceg goes for the takedown and then gets grappled for that. But whatever. If he beats Steve Erceg, now the perception is, okay, well, if he beats Steve Erceg, then he could beat Pantoja. I know styles make fights, but you get the idea that it's not too far-fetched for public